Greetings, humans. Got a little thing I made up the other day, actually a while ago. It's like we get lost among the chaos, we get divided through fear, we get blinded by the light and the dark. But chaos from a distance becomes order, divisions without emotions becomes unity, balance of light and dark becomes clarity. Because if you get distracted by the trees, you'll never see the forest. And then if you're always in fear, then you're always going to be divided because they put this against that. And that's throughout all the religions and everything. And then when you balance out the light and the dark, that's how you truly see. Like if you go completely in the light, you get dark, you get blinded. You go completely in the dark, you get blinded. And once you have that balance of both, you get the clarity. And what we don't have in today's age is the truth. There is no truth. That, no matter what you believe, there is no truth. People might say, oh, the truth is in the Bible. Okay, well, how many times has that been written? Especially if it's the Word of God, how come you got to change that wording every so many hundreds of years, 50 years, whatever like that? And it's just, they're doing this to manipulate the minds. And they've been doing it for thousands of years also. Why have they been doing that? For control. And the reason why they don't want us united on any effect is because once you became united, you won't need them. And I get a lot of events that happen before and through meditation. Like I saw the Baltimore Bridge come down a week before it happened. And when my wife told me, I was like, I saw that last week and went to sleep. I was meditating one time and I said, give me an event that happens before it happens. And I saw an angry guy, all these people yelling and screaming, the double-headed eagle lift its arms up, and a 7 or a 17, wrote it down. And that next day was October 7th. And I even thought about guns and stuff like that too, but didn't really write that down because I was like, that's impossible, just guns. But it did. And, well, then I did my monthly predictions ever since April. I was like, the April showers will bring the May days to flower, and June they'll boom, and July look to the sky, August is proof of Among Us, and September, everyone's going to remember the event that happens in September. And then for next month in October is going to be the October surprise. I've been right so far about all of that. It's just like in the April showers, that's when the tariffs started to happen, would bring the May days to flower. They started the whole immigration thing. And in June, yeah, boom, even did the countdown to the select day to when Israel did its little thing. And then that next week, I sat there and was telling people that we're going to see an event that's never been seen before in history. And well, we got those nuclear power plants underground. And July looked at the sky. Well, that's when we saw Three-Eye Atlas. Well, and then I said in August is proof of Among Us, and then that's when MUFON finally went there and dropped off a whole bunch of stuff to Congress and of their materials that they have. In September, we'll remember everything that happened in September. It wasn't September 11th because that was just an inside job. And hell, we were even divided 2 months afterwards, even though that they planned it all together, even amongst themselves and all that. There was just an event to do that, to control the narrative, to control the mindset, to control the event stream. And what I'm thinking about what's going to happen next month is that Three-Eye Atlas thing will slow down and it's going to do something magnificent. And but I'm actually thinking, and what I've actually seen a bunch of remote viewers, which I'm not saying I am, I'm just, and if I am, I'm at like Dr. Seuss level. So it's just like I've got no one teaching me, training me, doing nothing like that. And so I'm thinking in October, there is going to be a major surprise. It's going to happen, and it may be with that. Plus, hell, we got like 6 other comets that are flying around, and if you look at the Hopi religion, the Hopi prophecies, they were talking about the Blue Kachina and its brothers around them, and hell, what do you think it's out there right now? And plus, humanity is out of balance. I mean, when you can get an that addicted me, and now we got to believe that you're that, and it's just like, it's insane. And you can't change the DNA. I mean, I don't care what you think, and you might be hating on it, but guess what? I don't really care. In fact, actually write it down because it might help me out. But like I said, I'm not doing this for a fan base or anything like that. I'm just doing it to just put it out there to the world because we need some truth out there. And I don't even expect you to believe everything that I say. I just want you to be a thinker, because there is no more thinkers anymore. We just believe whatever we stamp on a piece of paper, and then that's it. I mean, hell, like a resume could be the best resume in the world, and you go hire that asshole, and he don't do nothing about what he's talking about or doing what he's doing. And it's just like, it's everything's a piece of paper. And there is no, you don't listen to what the person says, you look at their actions. And because actions are way louder than words, but we've somehow reversed that over time. And in 17 months, what I believe is going to happen is, yeah, we are going to be taken over by them. And a lot of people are going to help them out, because look at the people that's been running the planet for this long and how they keep us divided and controlled. I'd rather give it up to someone else than give it up to these assholes that have been running the world for thousands of years. And they just, things need to change, but it's not going to change until it gets a hell of a lot more worse. And most people are not going to be able to handle the truth. That's why they had that movie a long time ago, and they said you can't handle the truth, because most of you can't really handle the truth, because you've been living a lie your entire lives, and you refuse to understand the truth because the truth hasn't been told to you properly. And that goes with the whole Kali Yuga thing, because like in Hindu religion, they have a 24,000 year cycle of 12,000 years of human consciousness descension, 12,000 years of us ascending. And for the past 4,000 or 5,000 years, we've been in the Kali Yuga. And you got to understand who Kali was. Kali actually ate her husband Shiva so she could destroy some demon. She got the powers, and then she got corrupted, and that's where we were at right now. All of our religions were created during the Kali Yuga, and now we're on the opposite side, entering the Dwapara Yuga, which we've been in there for probably about 100 years. But there's that turbulation period, because it's like the Kali Yuga in between the Dwapara Yuga. And what Dwapara means, it's the age of truth and electricity. Well, we've had electricity since 1835. I don't give a shit what you people think about the batteries and shit like that. But yeah, we used to have sodium-ion batteries way back in 1835 with scooters, bikes, buses, everything like that. But the only reason why they got rid of that is because they couldn't have control over it, because it was just sodium salt water, basically. And, you know, some other stuff. I'm not a smart guy like that or whatever, but it was a sodium-ion battery. And they couldn't put a meter on it, so they kicked that out of the road and put, okay, we got to have batteries now, cars and gas, fuel, because now we got to get money off of it, because money is just one of the means of control that was created a long time ago by the Khazarians. And we're going to get our truth here soon, but we got to go through the Mahabharata. The Mahabharata was a battle on the opposite side of the Kali Yuga, where everything had collapsed, and under Hindu religion there was like battles in the skies and nuclear weapons and all this other crazy shit that was going on. Basically what we have right now, because we're going in an up phase of that. But and the Kali Yuga doesn't want us to go forward, because those people that have been in control do not want to give up their control. That's why, like, when the aliens do come down, that's why they haven't told us anything. And if you mention the aliens, oh, you're a crazy nut job. But they can't hide that shit no more. And they're going to be coming to return. And that's everybody's return that they've wanted, but they just don't understand who that return is. And you just got to accept the fact, because the more you resist, the more the pain is going to persist. And it's just going to happen. And you just got to accept it and live with it, increase your vibrations, become one with each other. Because when I see you, I see billions of organisms making up one person. You step out of the sun, out of the planet, you see billions of organisms making up one. You step out of the galaxy, what do you see? Billions of organisms making up one. You step out of the universe, it's billions of organisms making up one. Step beyond those universes, and it's billions of organisms making up one. It's a continuous chain, like a little layer of onion. And it's the whole fabric of a reality, because even Nikola Tesla said, if you want to understand anything, you got to think vibrations and frequency, because everything is vibrations and frequency. That's why if they look at it, you with an infrared camera, you're putting off light, because that's why we're humans. Where hue is color, color is a reflection of light, man is manifestations. We're the fallen angles of light. And the whole mark of the beast thing is they say 666. Well, we're carbon-based life forms. Carbon on the periodic table is 6 electrons, 6 neutrons, 6 protons. So everything that we think we know, we don't know shit. And because we're only just looking off of a piece of paper, and the piece of paper says that's truth. And we just need to understand what really is true. And put down there in the bottom, tell me if I'm wrong. Well, especially you religious people, okay? Because that's all I want to hear is, oh yeah, well, God says this, God says that. Well, okay, where does it say it? Some guy in a book that wrote that and changed it thousands of times. I mean, the books that you're reading aren't even the books that they've wrote. And plus, a lot of them say the same thing too, and then there would never be any peace because they say, oh, you need to have Jesus in your heart. You need to have this in your heart. Okay, so how do you expect to get thousands of peace? You're going to put a thing under their head and sit there and be like, okay, believe what we say. And that's forcefulness, and there's bloods on all of their hands. And that's why when we have that thousands of years of peace, there's not going to be any religions. It's all going to be faith. And then faith in with each other, because we got to become a family again. We can't become a family because there's this humans and then there's people. People are all in this for themselves. Humans are in it for the benefit of each other. Like when I go to work, I don't go to work just for the money. I go there for the pain because I know I got to do something in order to get that money. The money is just the benefit of getting it. And I'm not corrupted by money. That's why I don't even give a shit if I make money on this. I just want to do this, and I'm putting it out there because I believe that this is the time that we should be doing this, because we're running out of time. I mean, look up there in the sky. The signs are in the sky. All of you people say that. Well, look at the motherfucker. It's up there. But you guys are just too ignorant to even look at it because you're looking at the news, the corruption, the televisions, the programming, and the movies and everything like that. And even if you look into the movies, it's like they generally project what they want to do ahead of time, because that's called karma washing. Like if I could say that I'm going to do something to you and you're going to pay me for it, and it's something bad to you and you're going to pay me for it, but if I can make it sound very good, and then when I go to do it and then I'm saying, well, give me the money, I'm like, what'd you do that for? I'm like, what? That's my karma. You just sat there and said that I could do this because I just manipulated you into accepting that I'm going to do this to you. And that's what they do, because they want to wash their own karma, because they know this shit that they don't want you to know. That's why there's all these secret societies. Even religions have little secret informations that they don't want to tell us about. And then when you start digging around, they don't like that, because they don't want you knowing what they know, because we're all peons. You could sit next to any religious person or political person, and they may sound like they like you, but you go walk away, they're going to be making fun of you because you're not them. I mean, even Trump, you sit next to him, all you Trump lovers. I mean, I liked him, but until I actually started to understand everything, I stepped out of the force. I like a lot of the things he does. I don't like a lot of the things he does. But as soon as you say you don't like anything, you're a heretic, and then they shoot you down for it. But it's just, you got to really understand and step out of the forest and actually look at the forest and quit getting confused by the trees, because they want us lost under the confusion and the chaos, divided through fear, blinded by the light and the dark. And if you actually look at who the light bearer is, would be Lucifer. Okay, who is the dark person? They call it Satan or Saturn or Set. I mean, there's been many names of these people for the longest time. That's why our weeks start off on Sunday and ends on Saturday, Saturn's Day. And even our months are wrong. October is not the eighth month, but Octa means 8. Deca means December. Well, December means Deca, which is not the 10th month, it's the 12th month. So the original New Year would be spring, when the solstice comes out, or the vernal equinox. And so they have us slightly screwed up. And once you take them off a little bit, over time it becomes miles apart. The Hopis predicted this time that's coming up there when they said humanity would be split. And we are split. And we're continuously being divided. And then that's when the blue Kachina comes. And if you look up in the sky, well, I think there's a blue Kachina. They even sat there and said the brothers, the twin brothers, you might as well say that was Amamua when that came in 2017, because that was a rare object and it wasn't from here. And then you got the 3-eye Atlas, There's nothing about it that says it's a comet or an asteroid or anything like that. I mean, it could be something that, if a fit using physics, we don't even know and or understand. But yeah, there's just some shit coming around, and what you people really need to do is increase your vibration. Just quit getting distracted by all this bullshit that's going on, and actually just look at everybody, and you could see. Go walk down the street. Go look at the mall. Actually, keep yourself quiet inside. Look at the people walking around. Observe them. Feel their emotions, and then you'll be able to understand what the fuck's really going on. And like I said, I'm really not going to feel bad when that event happens. Hell, it's going to be my like Christmas. And don't even get me there on Christmas, because Christmas for thousands of years have actually been for select holidays for people. It was like, it wasn't just for Jesus. It was actually for Horus. It was actually for Nimrod. And then it was the holiday of the Saturnian, or Saturnalia, whatever it was called. And back in the 1700s, there was a lot of debauchery that was going on. So a lot of people were getting rid of that because of this stuff that was going on for that time during Christmas. And then they rebranded it, made it a corporate holiday. And hell, you guys, most people don't even put anything up there for Jesus. They put it up there for like the Christmas stuff. And then it's all about the gifts. So it's basically the Saturnalia and the little Nimrod thing. And our hours are based around Horus. That's why you have a dome, and which is the womb of Isis, and then you have a phallic symbol, which is the penis of Osiris. And the whole thing with the fish is, well, because how do you think that she inseminated herself to have the immaculate conception of Horus? Well, it's with a fish, because that was the only piece that she couldn't find, and a fish ate it, so she used that. But yeah, you guys may think I'm crazy because you guys don't even want to bother looking into this, because you're afraid to eat that apple of knowledge. You'd rather be ignorant with bliss than actually know the truth. And the truth hurts, but guess what? You got to get through the truth, because any pain, you don't gain nothing. And if you're just continuously just sitting on your ass and accepting things, then it wasn't really worth accepting. Because the hardest fruit is the one to get up there on the tree, and it's not the one you just pick up right there on the bottom. You climb up that bitch and you get it, and that's the best apple up on top. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Made it a little bit longer than I wanted to, and probably didn't even make any sense. But guess what? I don't really give a shit. I just want you to start thinking for yourself. And we don't like to think.